Hi there, welcome back. Today I want to talk a little bit about overwhelm. People talk a lot about overwhelm in people. People suffer overwhelm. Do dogs suffer overwhelm? Well, yes, actually. Dogs do suffer overwhelm, and when they do, it can filter out and cause lots of behaviour problems. Reactive behaviour comes from overwhelm, frustration, overexcitement. All of the different kinds of problems that you might be facing with your dog, some of them may well have started with overwhelm. And if they didn't start with overwhelm, they're probably made worse by it. So what is overwhelm in a dog? A dog's brain can only cope with so much. There's a limited amount of space to store information. So all day long, we're filling up your dog's brain with information. He's seeing things, smelling things, hearing things, feeling things. Maybe he's gone to a training class. All of those experiences from the class, the dogs he met, his friends, people, strange people, new people, people with hats on, people without hats on, all of those experiences are all piling into his brain one by one. And as the day goes on, he feels hungry, so there's a thought there that's gone into his head. Maybe he needs the toilet, perhaps he's heard something on the TV which he thought he was quite interested in. Maybe he's had a new toy that day. So all of the experiences, all of his thoughts, all of his stresses, all of it goes into his brain, just like it does with our brains. And every now and then we need to clear all that stuff out. Otherwise it gets too full and it spills out, and that's when we have overwhelm. So just like in people, dogs have too much stuff in there and it all just filters out. And at that point then, when they're in overwhelm, they stop coping as well with things as they used to. So they become irritable, they become ratty, they become frustrated, they become reactive, oversensitive. All of those types of things are a direct symptom of being in a state of overwhelm. So it's really important to try and keep our dogs away from overwhelm. Being in overwhelm basically is the dog going into a kind of fight or flight mode. They've been triggered into a survival mode. So the thinking part of their brain is now not in charge anymore. The reactive part of their brain is. I call them reactive brain and thinking brain, but in psychology, they're called system 1 and system 2 brains. Sometimes people talk about your homer brain or your chimp brain. But basically what we've got is a really, really smart brain that does proper, considered, careful decisions based on facts and information. The other side of your brain is there to keep you alive, and that's your reactive brain, and that makes decisions based on keeping you alive and survival-based decisions. So those will be quick fix decisions. In humans, the reactive brain gets triggered when you get hungry. So if you go shopping when you're hungry, you're more likely to make quick, fast decisions like buying chocolate and crisps and fast food. But when your thinking brain's engaged, you would buy some pasta and some tomatoes, and you'd buy some chicken and you'd make a dessert, a pasta or whatever. So your thinking brain makes proper decisions, based on lots of information. Your reactive brain just makes really, really fast, quick decisions. So when you're in overwhelm, the reactive brain is engaged, and that's the one that's making decisions. So sometimes it feels like your dog is maybe overreacting to something. Maybe you've seen a dog on the other side of the park and now he's barking and shouting, and you're like, well, that dog's just miles away. Why are you reacting to that? Or maybe you've brought some boxes into the house and your dog's now reacted to these boxes because they weren't there before and now they are, and that surprised him and startled him. But it feels like a bit of a no reaction. You've seen boxes before, you know what boxes are. But the problem is, of course, is that the reactive brain is making those decisions about how to cope with these boxes, as opposed to his thinking brain, which would make a much more careful decision. So that's basically what overwhelm is. And what we do throughout the day is we try to keep that overwhelm under control by emptying out the brain, unclogging all of those thoughts and things like that. And there's a couple of really good ways to do that. So one is to not put the thoughts in there in the first place. So if your dog is having thoughts about, maybe they need to, maybe they haven't eaten for a while, they're hungry, maybe they're tired, maybe they haven't had their walk yet. So creating a really, really nice routine for your dog means all of that stuff becomes very predictable for them throughout the day, and the needs are met well in advance. So those thoughts don't get put into their brain. If you're going to do a training session or something, or a walk, schedule naps in between, because sleeping is a really, really good way of emptying out a lot of those decisions. When your dog's asleep, his brain starts organizing and filing all of the thoughts of the day and all of his experiences, all of his stresses get put into the right places so that they're not taking up unnecessary space in his brain. So once that's sort of cleared down, he'll wake up, he'll feel refreshed and ready to go on and start filling his brain up with new experiences. But if your dog's not getting a good sleep routine, not getting a good food routine, not drinking water regularly throughout the day, his exercise is maybe not on schedule or a bit mixed up, then those are the types of things that can contribute to his overwhelm, and they're definitely not helping solve it. So if you think your dog suffers with overwhelm sometimes, you'll know that because he could be a bit ratty, a bit grumpy sometimes. Maybe sometimes he's better than others, he's anxious sometimes and not at other times, then that could be why. So have a look at the routine, see if you can make that nice and steady, and hopefully that will help. Otherwise, please get in touch and I'll see if I can help more. Lovely to talk to you again. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.